China, just shut it already. All right, nobody really freaking cares. Your virtual signaling, your fake outrage. I don't know. What are you going for, like international victimhood bucks as a country or something? I don't get it. It originated in China. What are you talking about? Baseless accusations. Let's read this. Donald Trump doubles down on calling coronavirus the Chinese virus after Beijing lashes out at him for using the term in escalating diplomatic feud between the two nations. Yes. Because calling it what it is and where it came from is obviously bad because, everybody's got to be a victim, even an entire country at this point. Donald Trump doubled down Tuesday after China lashed out at Washington for calling the novel coronavirus the Chinese virus. What are we supposed to call it? I mean, yeah, okay, there's other names for it, but it originated there. I mean, are we not supposed to call the Korean War, the Vietnam War, the Vietnam War? Are we not supposed to call the American Civil War, the American Civil War? What are we supposed to call things nowadays? I mean, when something happens, do we got to be like, well, we got to protect all the little snowflakes around the world. We can't call it what it is. We can't call it where it came from. See, this is the problem. We start doing this and we start going down this road and we start stifling news and things like that because we're worried about people's feelings. Facts don't care about feelings. I'm sorry, feelings, but you're gone. Facts don't care about you. President Trump tweeted Monday, the United States will be powerfully supporting those industries like airlines and others that are particularly affected by the Chinese virus. We will be stronger than ever before. Early Tuesday, Beijing demanded the U.S. side correct the mistake immediately and halt its groundless accusations. You smoking crack, China? What do you mean groundless accusations? Where do you think it came from? The first reports came out of there, so all evidence points that it came from China, that it originated in China. To me, this just seems more like China deflecting, We don't want the world to know that it started here, even though the whole world knows that it started here. See, the logic is flawed, China. The cat's out of the bag. You can't put it back in. You're done. But Trump then doubled down, tweeting Tuesday morning about New York's Governor Andrew Cuomo, who has demanded the military are activated to build hospitals. That Cuomo wants all states to be treated the same. But all states aren't the same. Some are being hit hard by the Chinese virus. Some are being hit practically not at all. Which is true. Each state is different. Each individual state is different. But it's not because the virus respects boundaries or anything like that. It's probably a testing issue more than anything else. The states that aren't being practically hit at all probably have a testing issue. If you'll notice, places like West Virginia, Clarksburg, used to live there. I used to live in Clarksburg, West Virginia. It's a little bit more spread out, too, for the most part. There's a lot of rural stuff in West Virginia, so maybe that has a play in it, too. But I would assume that if they started testing, then they would, find out that they're being hit harder than they thought. Remember, a lot of people are going to have this thing going on around the world, as we have to say, in today's damn freaking snowflake day and age, but not show symptoms. The tweet for tat, that's a good one. The tweet for tat, okay, came the day after Trump's Secretary of State Mike Pompeo called China to accuse it of spreading conspiracy theories that the virus was the creation of the U.S. military, which they did. They're trying to deflect. For some reason, they don't want anybody to know or realize, even though everybody knows and everybody already realizes and the news is already around the world. You can't build a time machine and bring the news back, China, that this virus started in China. Okay, big whoop, the virus started in China. Okay, so what, China? Can we move on to things that actually fucking matter? Contrasting conspiracy theories that it was created by China as a tool for biological warfare have been aired in pro-Trump circles in the U.S. Yeah, I've heard that too. Genetic modification geared towards the markers in Caucasian genes, and that it is what was it? That it was the death rate is higher amongst Caucasians, and then that was the evidence that there's a whole conspiracy theory about it. I have not looked into that at all. Right now we're just kind of getting on with it. But yeah, China, it originated in China. Then China's trying to say, oh, well, maybe it didn't originate in China. Maybe the United States originated it. That's like the kid that freaking stole something from you in elementary school and then, tried to blame it on someone else. Well, maybe so-and-so took it. Maybe so-and-so. Come on now. China, grow up. You're not a kid. And Pompeo himself has called it the Wuhan virus, which is where it originated. In Wuhan, somewhere in Wuhan. As far as we know, anyways. In a series of media appearances. I'll reread that just because I broke it up. And Pompeo himself has called it the Wuhan virus in a series of media appearances, as have fervently pro-Trump Republicans, including Tom Cotton, the Oklahoma senator, and Paul Gosar, an Arizona congressman, who then had to go into self-quarantine over fears he was infected with it. Yeah. Who cares, China? Why is that what you're stuck on stupid on? Why are you stuck on stupid on making people think, well, don't call the Chinese virus, don't call the Chinese virus, don't call the Chinese virus. It's out of the bag, it's done, it's past, move on, get over it. Nobody's falling for this virtual signaling bullshit. Oh, maybe Americans. Yeah, okay. All right, yeah. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain, right? Gang Shuang. I love that name. Gang Shuang. I love that. A spokesperson from China's Ministry of Foreign Affairs accused certain American politicians of promoting stigmatization by connecting the novel coronavirus with China. It's already connected. That's where it started. Everybody already knows it. The entire world knows it. There's nothing you can... Everybody already knows that it originated in China. He did not name President Trump specifically, but was referring to President Trump's tweet, reported Chinese state news agency Xinhua. Excuse me. Everybody already knows it, China. I don't even know what you're doing. We express strong indignation. Oh, indignation. You are an indignant, are you? You are indignant. You are an indignant species. the indignant people of the land. We express a strong indignation and resolute opposition to this, Mr. Gang said at a daily news briefing. The spokesperson stressed that the coronavirus outbreak had occurred in multiple places around the world, and the urgent task was for the international community to join forces to curb the pandemic. But there's no evidence that the coronavirus outbreak started everywhere around the world. There's evidence that it started back in November in China, and then finally it was reported in December in China. We don't have any reports anywhere else in the world of this thing popping up. No, it's as far as we know, as far as science has shown us so far, and maybe it'll change in the future. But right now, we can only speak factually that it shows that it originated in China, not a bunch of places around the world. Yeah. The man behind the curtain is the man behind the curtain. It's not some figment of your imagination. Generally, if you look at something and you look at multiple perspectives and you look at multiple sources and you get multiple views of information, then your general idea of what you see is really what's going to happen. It's really what it is. All right, the man behind the curtain truly is the man behind the curtain. The United States should mind its own business first. Oh, mind your own business. Oh, yeah, I've heard that one before when someone's stealing something or someone's doing... Mind your own business. Why do you care? Why do you care? Well, because you're a criminal and you're doing something to my neighbor. You're stealing from my neighbor. You're doing something. Well, why do you care? What? Mind your own business. Yeah, we've all heard that one before. And Zaboli says that. And then make constructive contributions to the international counter-epidemic collaboration and the maintenance of the global public health safety, Mr. Gang continued. China, what are you doing? What are you doing? It's not like you can reverse time and, like, I don't know, make this outbreak happen somewhere else and then be like, oh, see, look, the outbreak is a different outbreak. Look, China, you know damn well that if the outbreak had happened and started here in the United States, China, for propaganda China, you would be saying it is the United States disease, or it is the American virus, or it is the... You know you would. It's propaganda. It's countries have been doing forever and ever. It's the same thing with Napoleon. Napoleon wasn't short. In fact, Napoleon was tall for people back in his day. But it was propaganda, so now we've got Napoleon syndrome and all kinds of scientific things, but it's all bullshit. Napoleon was actually tall. Well, it's propaganda. It's all propaganda. Anyways, that's what I got for you guys. You let me know what you think. Is it okay for us to call this the Chinese virus? Is it racist or I don't know, maybe even speciest? I mean, how does the virus feel? Has anybody asked how the virus felt? Are we demonizing the poor virus? Does the virus have rights? Is the virus such a snowflake that we need to be able to back up and give the virus its victimhood bucks and say, yes, virus is right. Okay, you have a right to live, virus. Go ahead. I mean, come on, that's almost the road we're going down nowadays. Anyways, that's what I got for you guys. I love you guys. I will see you on the next one.